All right. Welcome back. Let's recap these trades for today on Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Traded three different stocks, HUSA, JAN, and KRBP. And JAN was the stock that I made the most on, and then had a small little base hit on HUSA, finishing the day up $286. Pretty solid green day. I haven't had one of these days in a couple weeks, or about a week and a half or so. So it's good that we got a nice green day under our belts. So let's go through these trades. KRBP, I traded first. KRBP. And we did a scalp. This had a nice front side early in the morning. I actually started watching this on this candle here, and I completely missed this front side. I was waiting for a dip buy, but it kind of just went here without me. And then I bought the first pullback on this candle, but closed it for break even, waiting for a bigger pullback just because this candle was very high volume. Actually got back in at 63, shook some out for a small loss and the rest out for a small gain. I really should have held this a little bit longer. I could have definitely got a potentially 9% move on that. So that would have been a pretty decent profit. But my share size was really low on KRBP. Again, it's a sub penny stock, and it's just not something that I really get dialed into because it's hard for me to manage my risk. You just never know. 10-cent loss can put you down at max loss if you are even at half your share size. Let's say my target share size is $3,000. So that means on this stock, I have to be taking maybe about, say 4,500 shares. Say I take a 4,000 share position, 10 cents, that's already past my max loss of $350. So that's definitely a reason why I don't like sub penny stocks. It's just so hard to manage your risk on. But we did trade this also at the open. I was looking for, we did get this pop here. I did make about a cent on 750 shares, and I went for this pullback to the 9 EMA, and then looking for that move to VWAP, but we kind of just went backside there, and it took a small loss on that. Overall, pretty flat on KRBP. Then we jumped over to Jan. Pre-market looked really good. However, there was a lot of topping tails, so that definitely gave me a little bit of concern up here. But let's go from the beginning. Here, we got a nice pop, and then we had increasing volume on green candles after the first pop here on the news. The news is pretty significant. Let's see what it says here. The news says, announces the issuance of a U.S. patent covering a method of improving nerve function using their product JAN 101, which is a pretty solid catalyst and definitely justifies the move that we got today. So here we got increasing volume on these two candles, so that's what got me to put in my first position. Why is this not popping up here? Yeah, so buying here right off of $3 with support, taking a quick scalp there, and then adding back on the dip here, taking profits relatively quickly. I'm still used to a very cold market, so I never know if it's just gonna roll over at some point or like false breakout here. So I was still very conservative trading this because you just never really know. It's just been such a cold market that I'm just so used to taking my profits so quick. Here, yeah, so quick scalp there, 4 cents, and then I buy here at 312 on the break of this candle, and then I get shaken out here, and then I rebuy. It's kind of a mess, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Should have held this position for a breakout, but I took my profits pretty quickly, and then added back here, taking some profits, and here finally going for that breakout of 320, and then taking a quick scalp for 1 cent, which is unfortunate. I could have had definitely a little bit more there. But I'm just playing so conservatively just because of the past few days. The past week has just been so cold, and like you have to be taking profits before their breakout to be green on any of these moves. And now this is the one, that defied all of the odds the past week, and started getting a good front side. And I didn't really start getting aggressive until here, and that's where I made most of my profits. I only made about $50 here in this first front side. Here I took a scalp through 350. Then we got consolidation, and then here I was looking for a move through the highs, and did kind of shake myself out here in this candle for a small loss. And then here adding, looking for that breakout, and we did get it, but I'm taking it off again really fast. But not much more opportunity in Jan pre-market until the open. We got a nice squeeze, but I was still very, small size, not really aggressive as I should have been. I should have been a little bit more aggressive on this beginning at the open. I definitely knew it had a good opportunity to break this level, the pre-market high, and I went for a quick dip, looking for a rip. That rhymes. Went for a dip, look for a rip. So here, kind of just shaking myself out here, small wins, small losses here, and then we start holding and breaking out of the 9 EMA. That's where I started to take a little bit bigger size going into the pre-market high. Here, a quick scalp, still holding 250 shares, and then I start adding at 385, and then that ripped up to 396, and I've been taking it off 391, 388, 380, 392, 388. Kind of just actively trading this candle and then getting back in at 381 on this pullback, taking a quick scalp there, and then adding, this is where I got really aggressive, 3,000 shares and took 2 cents on this breakout. Not all, I didn't have one giant block order at 3,000, but I've been just kind of actively trading it. And I had a total of 3,000 share buy orders and 3,000 share sell orders combined, and I had a net profit. And then here, looking for some more continuation, and kind of bought high there. I realized I bought high and I closed it immediately. Then we got a pullback to $4. That's where I got in 300 shares, very small size, relatively speaking, and taking some off for a quick gain. Here we got a pullback to the 9 EMA, and this is where I started accumulating and started scalping, 2 cents, actively trading it, not really holding for any sort of continuation until this candle dipped down below. I got a nice fill. The lowest fill I got here was 394. So really close to the low there. And then adding as it gets higher, and then it's literally just gapped to like 413. I thought it was going to break out, so I started adding at 412. Adding at 412, really aggressive. I was in at one point, my whole position was at like 1,500 shares, or no, 1,250 shares. So about $4,000 position size, a little bit more. And I was looking for that break of 414 and a nice pop. But we didn't get it, and I had to take it off for about a break-even trade, which is quite unfortunate. But so this would have been a good green trade if I just took it off at 412, but instead I added, and then so that brought up my cost basis, my average price, and that turned into a scratch. And at that point, I was already up $250. But if I would have sold, I probably would have had over a $300 day. But if me adding here and then did have continuation through 414 and had a pop up to like 440, 450, the stock definitely seems really strong. The volume is insane on it. 2 million shares on this candle alone. If it did pop up to like, even if I sold at 430 and I had $1,200 position size, that could have been a potentially 15-cent win. Conservatively speaking, 15-cent win, that's another, $175. That could have been a $400 to $500 green day today if that would have worked out. And so, I definitely took a risk here buying higher, looking for continuation, but I thought the risk to reward was there because this stock was just so strong and there's so much volume on it. But, I was able to manage my risk. I took it off immediately when I saw some weakness, and that really protected my downside, and I was able to still walk away with $286. And here I went for another pullback here looking for, I thought this candle would be the one to break through, and it didn't, and I stopped out again. And here's another break-even trade. Here I bought the low. I was looking for, a reclaim really quickly, but you didn't really get it, so I took off for a 1-cent win. But, if I would have held, a couple more minutes, it would have been a nice profit there. That could have been, 20 cent potential, 20% profit potentially with another $100 there. But it was really hard, at this point, not seeing that, hindsight 2020, looking at this is bearish. And, it's good that I took my profits relatively quickly. Then here I get back in at the break of $4, looking for a bigger move. I never really get it, so I kind of just get chopped up in here. Nothing really happening to make any significant money or losing significant money. Kind of just hugging around that 250 level. In that $250 in profit level. And then I started trading HUSA, and I made about $30 on this one. For this breakout here, nice breakthrough, $6. Taking my starter at 86 and then adding into the highs for a break of 6. And then here, nothing really, that I was able to hold long enough. I was very skeptical, and I just kept finding myself getting stopped out, or not stopped out, kind of shaking myself out mentally and just getting like bad entries because I was very hesitant. At this point in the day, like it's already 10:20, 10:25, and I'm just, my mentality is just completely different. And I'm starting to look at like, I don't want to give back any profits. And so that makes me very reserved. And then me being reserved makes me get a bad entry and hesitate. And then, any sort of 3-cent, 4-cent drop just makes me want to sell for a small loss, or any sort of small pop makes me want to sell for a small gain. It just, my trading definitely changes after a certain time period or after I'm up a certain amount on the day. So maybe, one solution could be just not looking at my intraday P&L at all during the day. But, I do have a habit of checking that relatively often after every couple trades. So maybe that could be a solution to solving that sort of problem. But then again, I could say that, it's actually kind of helpful that, after a certain time, or, when I'm up a certain amount on the day, it could be helpful that, I start dialing it back down and be more conservative, because, you never really know when you're going to get that one trade that just might just like give back 50%, 75%, or 100% or more of your profits on the day. And that's like the worst feeling ever. It's worse than going break even to red. Definitely what's worse is definitely being green, like near the highs, and then giving back like a huge chunk. It's definitely worse than, starting in the red and keep going red. So, that's definitely could be a good way, because then I can, I'm protecting my profits on the day, and that's good because in the long term, you're obviously going to be consistently profitable. If I were to keep trading aggressively and not really know where I'm at on the day, or not really care what time it is, I could be risking all of that profit that I had a high win rate on and a high risk reward on at 9:30, and risking that at 10:30 when, the setup is just not as clean or not as good because there's lower volume. So I think, I should wait until the market is definitely really hot, and then that's when, I'm not going to let off the gas around 10 o'clock. If anything, I could press on it a little bit more around 10 or 10:30, because actually in the hot market, last year I remember, stocks still ripping up around 10:30. They'd finally, hit that red to green point and then start shooting up. And that was a really good time, to stay aggressive and not walk away, like how, you kind of should be doing right now. And then here again, kind of just taking a couple of scalps, looking for breakouts of key levels, but nothing really happens there. Didn't really make much. I think I lost like $2. But that's it. Nothing, nothing, too big, but it's definitely a solid green day. Solid, a solid base hit, maybe about a double to a triple. Definitely not a home run day. I'm up about 7 or 8% on my average position size of around 3,500 or 4,000. Somewhere around that is like my average position size. So I'm up around 7% or so. So very, very happy with that. Proud of my performance to definitely get aggressive on Jan when it opened up or after 9:30 into the pre-market highs. And I really hope we get some more stocks that do just like what happened with Jan today. I hope we do get some more continuation, some more momentum, even though Jan wasn't, HUSA, could have been, is definitely contestant for the best rip of the day, but it's only 40% from the low. That's like not that much compared to, stocks that you get in the hot market. Then here from Jan was up from bottom to top around 72%. That's pretty solid, but from the open, let's just get rid of this. From the open, it was only a 13% pop. So for me to, have a solid green day or a solid base hit, just off a 13% pop from the open, that speaks a lot because, when the market gets hot, these 15% pops are going to turn into 50% pops. And there's definitely going to be a lot more meat on the bone, and I can definitely make a lot more than what I did today. And it just shows, you have to be happy with, just getting aggressive for a little bit and then, walking away and being happy with your base hit green day and wait for the days, when it turns into a 50% run. And then that's when you can really, really get aggressive. So, all right, well, that's it. Solid green day, $286 so far. Really good this week. Had a small green day yesterday, base hit green day today, solid base hit green day today. And tomorrow, hopefully we get some more action, something, popping up like Jan. Hopefully we get some micro floats again. Jan is a very small float. That's why it gave some good opportunity, I'm sure. So we'll see what's in store for tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. So if you're still trading, good luck, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next day trading recap. All right, peace.